Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're on this campaign to go through and do some exploration in Galenta Highsec. We've been going on this campaign for quite a bit now. I've done some BIS sites, I've done a bit of exploration here and there. I've not come across too much good stuff, unfortunately, but we're going to continue here then on our journey. Got 19 jumps until we've entered the goal system of Chilean. We found some Corelli A-type modules so far, but the majority of the ISK has been from the abyssal sites I've been running, and they have been quite lucky. In fact, we've been doing T4 Firestorm Abyss, and it was pretty good, especially when I got those chaotic electrical drops right here that equate for a lot of the ISK we got. And it'll just be interesting to see what I get now, because last time I did some of these different exploration sites, like combat anomalies right here, and I was scanning it wasn't turning out too good. Unfortunately, we've only found that like one site that gave me Corelli A-types that actually gave something decent. So I hope that now we actually find something better. I think in this play session we're going to try to go for Chilean, or if we don't, maybe go somewhere in between, because there's still quite a few jumps we've got left, but eventually we'll get there. Serpentis hideout. Okay, we're going to go for these hideaways right here. Hideaways can use to get the 3 out of 10s from them. And I've gone to like a few adjacent systems like off camera in the meantime. I haven't found anything good either. It's been a little bit unfortunate. It's just the way it is. But I'm hoping for getting some good 3 out of 10s or some nice 5 out of 10s from dens, or even some 4 out of 10s from the scanning of cosmic signatures. It'll be quite yummy to find them, because it was a while now since I've done the Serpentis Fire outposts, and especially the 5 out of 10. I don't think I've ever done I've not done a 5 out of 10 Serpentis ever before. So it'll be a new thing to actually be able to do them. I have got a escalation from a 5 out of 10, but it was in low sec, and I couldn't really be bothered to have to reship to a specific ship that was able to run them in low sec safely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that seems to be interesting you can do in low sec if you're able to do stuff properly in low sec. Like, I was thinking using a Tech 3 destroyer would be very good for these low sec sites. Like, I've done 4 out of 10s Garistas ones in the Tech 3 destroyers. They're really good because they've got the faster line time. So if you've got the gate camps, you can just warp out quickly, because you know you're aligned quickly. You don't have to worry too much about them, unless it's like smart bombs or something like that. Then you're kind of screwed. But that would be a nice option for a ship to use in low sec. The thing is, with the 5 out of 10s, there's just going to be way too many NPCs for it to be done in a reasonable amount of time. If you go with the Tech 3 destroyers, I feel like it'll just take way too long. I mean, ideally in the low sec stuff, you wouldn't even want to spend a lot of time there, I can imagine, because you just want to be in and out, because you know you got these hunters able to hunt you down. That's why I think that if you're going to go for the 5 out of 10s in low sec, a good option will be to go for a Rook, because then you won't be able to be detected on D-scan, so it'll be less likely that someone will be onto you. And it's not, even though it's not going to be like an in-out operation, like as if you were to use a Confessor to do a 3 out of 10, it'll still be a lot safer than using, like, say for example, a Gila. That would be very obvious that it's doing something like ratting on the D-scan. But you can actually find the Rook still if you use combat probes, so it's not like completely safe. You can't think of it like that, but it's still a lot safer, since a lot of the times the D-scan is like the first layer of scanning for a hunter to find you when you're going for hunting prey in the different regions of low sec, dangerous areas of space. Many people say that low sec and these layers of space is not dangerous, but for me it is. I always get hunted down and annihilated if I spend too much time there. I haven't died in there for a long time, and it is a lot to do with the common sense I gain over time of playing EVE Online. The first time I actually got killed by a real player wasn't low sec. It was by a I think it was a Vengeance Assault Frigate gang, Retribution and a Vengeance. They came in and wrecked my Punisher who was ratting. I actually made a video dedicated about this, talking about the story of the first time me dying in EVE. I was using a Punisher, attacking a battleship, an NPC battleship, in a belt. I'm now just thinking back to it, I was like, oh, how far I've come from then. But I got absolutely annihilated by this little assault frigate duo. That was actually quite cool what they were doing, having a little duo of assault frigates going there. I feel like that would be kind of what I would do nowadays if I wanted to hunt in low sec. I think that would be really a cool little thing to go in, because they're not that expensive. They're pretty tough little nuts, those assault frigates. But luckily, someone came in afterwards and avenged me. A guy from Wingspan in a Covert Ops cruiser, uncloaked and wreck them. So it was pretty fun to see afterwards in my Corvette. I returned back to try to fetch my loot. Yeah, it was just fun to see them get blown up. And I was so happy about that. That was actually the first time I died, and it was pretty dramatic like that. I mean, a lot of the times I can imagine the first time people die in Eve is going to be like a very, just getting insta-popped on the gate. That luckily wasn't the case for me. It was a pretty dramatic and fun experience. Let's see now what have we got here. Cosmic signatures. We'll warp here, launch probes, and scan these right here. You know, when speaking of low sec, I was thinking of doing like soon in due time. Potentially we could do some stuff in low sec. That would be fun, like live there, not just like occasional day trips like I do in the Tech 3 destroyers. I think it would be an option. The corp I'm in, Brave, like Brave Empire, they're allied with Brave. They've got a region of low sec that there's a lot of friendlies there. So I think that could be an option to do, to go there, even though it's not going to be like obviously 100% safe, but it's going to be better than just going into a random low sec where there's, you know, a lot of no friends really there. But at least there'll be some friends there who could, you know, maybe help you or scare away people who try to attack you. The thing is, I'm thinking of different things that could be a good idea to do in low sec. It could be to do like deity hunting like I'm doing right now. But I could use something like a Tech 3 cruiser, because I have actually trained the Tech 3 cruisers now. I can fly them pretty basic. I can't fly them really good, but I can fly them pretty basic. Like level 4, 3 at least in all of them. But like some of them I have level 5, but not all of them. So I can fly Legion pretty well. If we look here, I've made even some Legion fits that are pretty good. This is something I was thinking maybe of going for a 5 out of 10 someday. It's pretty tight here on the fitting, but it has some pretty good active tank, as you can see here. Tech 3 cruisers are pretty good for doing these kind of DD sites, because you can fit like Covert Ops, you can fit Cold Probe Launcher, and you can also have a pretty decent tank and DPS and speed tank at the same time. Unlike what you can do in like say Gila, or like, speed tank in a Gila is just a little bit difficult. It's not the easiest when your shield is blooming, your signature is so big, or in, especially in like in a battle cruiser and battleship. It'll be a bit of a different thing when you're then trying to speed tank in a Tech 3 cruiser, especially an armor one, because your armor-based ships, they're like the Legion, they have very small signature radius, like unlike the shield-based ships, all the like rigs and that kind of stuff, it increases the signature radius bloom. It's not that impactful though, but I think that could be an option to go around in low sec and, you know, just scanning down stuff like exactly like we're doing now, and maybe we focus on, instead of the, you know, 4, 1, 3 out of 10 crap ones like we're doing right now, we focus on maybe the 5, 6 out of 10s, maybe 4 out of 10s even, or maybe even something higher, but I think mainly 5, 6 out of 10s. They could be very interesting options to do there. 5 out of 10s will definitely be more like common at least, because they can be a potential site to scan down. It wouldn't just be an escalation, because the only way to get a 5 out of 10 in high sec is if you get it from an escalation. You can't get it as like a scan down signature. You can only get it as an escalation from a den if you want to get a 5 out of 10 in high sec. So there's increased, like generally speaking, probability that we would be able to get the site in low sec if we're using a Legion because of that. Then also, just in general, there's going to be fewer people in low sec if you compare it to high sec. So hopefully it'll be less competition. There'll be more sites for us to do as well. I have before got a 6 out of 10 as well in a Drake I did a long time ago. I didn't manage to write it successfully, unfortunately, but I tried to. And I definitely think then a Tech 3 should be able to get through that. So we can maybe do the, you know, the sites, dens, you do the rally points to get a potential 6 out of 10 escalations, because you can get a 6 out of 10 escalations for rally points. Gersta's rally points, Sancho rally points, that kind of stuff. And then also it'll be nice because the Tech 3 cruisers, they can then fit a Covert Ops cloak, and it can hopefully get through some gate camps as well. You know, being able to Covert Ops cloak directly when you warp, it will be nice. Unfortunately, it won't be 100% safe. You know, when you're in the site, people will still be able to get you. But since we're gonna, if I were to move to Lost, it'll probably be in the area where Brave operates. Then it'll be less likely that we would have, like, you know, the people who would want to get you. And even then, you can still sort of counteract people by quite a big margin when you're running the DED sites in low sec. Oh, this doesn't seem to be particularly easy to scan now. Because the thing is, you can sort of counteract it, since if there's like a cloaky guy, someone who wants to cloak and kill you like sneakily, they'll then have to go through the acceleration gate, and as far as I can tell, the only way you can get through the acceleration gate is decloaking, because you're going to have to get like close to it, or at least you'll warp on top of a beacon and it will decloak you. I think so, at least. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll still have a bit of time to react, especially if you decloak as well. I mean, not decloak, but you use the descan regularly as well, and just in general get an idea from using the local as well. It shouldn't be too hard to repel people, and also in a pretty strong T3 cruiser, hopefully we'll be able to at least repel some of them by fighting if we were to somehow get caught. I don't have big hopes of that though, because I feel like if I were to get caught in a Tech 3 cruiser and someone actually decided to tackle a Tech 3 cruiser, I'm pretty sure that they would know what they were doing before deciding to actually tackle a Tech 3 cruiser. Like, they'll probably have some measures to kind of make it a very biased fight towards the person who's attacking my Tech 3 cruiser. I know that there's some people who hunt as well in Tech 3 cruisers, very OP Tech 3 cruisers. Like, I know that if you're using the certain types of Tech 3 cruisers, like specialized, because you can have subsystems which are sort of like rigs, but they're instead like based in a way that they give different functions for you'll do, like, it gives you different bonuses, you could say, like another layer on top of rigs, and some of them can be really focused on being very good in combat, and I feel like it might clash a bit with what I would use when I'm running the sites in PvE style, so they'll probably give them an edge if they were to try to hunt me, like someone who's hunting in a Tech 3 cruiser. There was this guy on YouTube I saw, can't remember his name, but I think he was from the Balkans at least, and he was hunting a lot of people in his legion, and he was pretty good at it. He was using very good implants, I think, very bling modules, and he was tanking so much. He helped to tank multiple enemy cruisers, gate guns at the same time, and wreck them all. So Tech 3 cruisers can be pretty lethal if you bling them a lot. Level 1 combat site here, maybe something could be. We've got people here in system though, so it wouldn't really surprise me if this is just some crap one. But we have got 2 minus, so there's -2 of these guys. Let's see, now it's coming close to being able to be scanned down. We can scan down this site here. Now this is the thing also with low sec, then we'll be able to scan down the good signatures too, that other people won't be doing, like farming constantly. Let's see, now Serpentis lookout, yeah, really bad. We've got this other signature over here, and I'm just guessing that since it's a Serpentis lookout, that this one's also going to be pretty crap. But maybe it is another lookout. I'm just thinking, like, if this happened to be, I think it's like maybe not. Okay, yeah, so wormhole, so not that great. Let's go here to the next system. I was just thinking that maybe if the other signature is less likely that it's a crap anomaly, but if the first one is already crap, then probably the other one's crap too, since someone would have already farmed the other one if it was good. Okay, we'll go here, warp to Ansone, launch these probes. But I really think that it'll be fun to do stuff in low sec, and even null sec, or maybe even wormhole space as well, because I think a change of pace might be due for me. I've been doing the same thing for now quite a long time in high sec, and it's quite relaxing, but I feel like maybe necessary to add a little bit of spice in my life, because, you know, it can be good to have a bit of action going on, have a bit of thrill from time to time. I don't like having that all the time, but especially when stuff has been very relaxing for a long time for me, it's always nice, at least what I think, to have a bit of thrill in your life. That is why I did a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but like a year ago or less than a year ago in nullsec. I made a journey there for about a month. It was pretty fun. Did some stuff there. I feel like I could have done more though, but I did do stuff there, and it was a nice change of pace from the stuff in high sec. Alright, I think I definitely could have delved deeper into the PvE aspects of it, like gone more into DD hunting. I mainly did just the havens, and that was it. I didn't think of much else. I could have done a lot of DD hunting there, I can imagine. I feel like I also could have done a lot more market stuff. That's also a possibility, because the low sec markets are actually usually very easy to sell good stuff there for good prices, because it's a bit of a hassle to get stuff all the way down there. So usually if you're able to get stuff into nullsec, like through example a wormhole, you can sell them from a big margin in highsec and still get a very good profit, even if it's like not a particularly impressive module trading in a regular trade hub like station trading that usually would have a very slim margin. But if you have a market that will be very needed of it, like for example when I used to live in nullsec, there were these Gilas just like I'm flying right now. They will be very needed because they're a very good ratting platform. I go and hunt these anomalies and asteroid belts as well. It would be a good idea to sell them, or it definitely was, at least at the time, because people would buy them for a very big profit margin. They used to go for, now this is not pre-industry changes, they used to go for a lot different price than this, but they used to go for about 150 million on the sell in Gita. And then I was able to sell them on sell orders in nullsec for like 200 plus million. And it's just because of convenience. People, they wanted to get their ranting ships, and it was just convenient just being able to buy it straight away than having to haul it all the way. And obviously that took a lot of time out of me. I had to spend a lot of time trying to get them there to nullsec, but that is sort of what I exchanged for the profit margins I got on buying them there. So there's definitely not just only like these anomaly sites or pirate hunting. You can also do some pretty interesting you can do some pretty interesting market trading there as well. And that's, I would say, even that is probably the pinnacle of the market trading I've done. That's been the most profitable, at least. I used to do a lot of market trading back in the day on a couple of alts, just to try to like buy low, sell high. I say a lot, I don't mean really a lot compared to some people, but I would say is I started out with like 5 million or no, maybe 30 million, and I ended with 100 million. And for me that was really big, really big. On all three alts, they were basic alpha alts as well. Ooh, that's a lot of signatures. And that was then what the most of market trading I did. But then when I moved to nullsec a long time ago, or when I started getting involved in the Brave, then I started doing this nullsec trading, and it was, it turned out really well. And it was another form of ISK making that I really think I should have actually delved more into. Could have probably profited off it a lot more. But I never felt like my main focus of my skills was on hauling stuff. It's always been my main focus of my skills are on combat related stuff. So that's why I focused on what I was good at, like basically when it comes to my skills. I could have definitely probably, or at least used some form of like freighter perhaps, deep space transports. Back then I couldn't even use deep space transports. I'm pretty sure I can now. Crane is a blockade runner that is a Tech 2 transport ship. Yeah, I can use this now, so this would definitely be better, at least more safe to use these. I used to just haul stuff. Like what I would do is when it comes to the Gila, to save cargo space, I would then just buy the blueprint and then in Jita and build it in nullsec instead. So I could just use an interceptor to transport them, and it was actually really I always felt very proud of myself. Just like the price to buy the minerals and build it back in the day was hardly anything, so it was almost negligible from the price. So pretty much it was the same as just buying a Gila from a sell order, then just getting a blueprint. It was very nice. But I think that DED hunting could be very fun to explore more on that front. I did do 10 out of 10 DED hunting in null, but I think in low sec it could be another option as well, since we'll have a little bit lower level anomalies there, so it won't require like a whole force to take them down. Like I know that there are people who do 10 out of 10s in Paladin Marauders, but I actually managed to do a 10 out of 10 in a Rattlesnake that worked out pretty good, but it took a long time because it was still a bit sketchy. Like I just had to MJD and kite a lot, and I didn't have full DPS either, since I had to have a lot of tank as well. So I definitely feel like maybe a Tech 3 cruiser on lower level anomalies could be a little more chill, at least. And you always have the opportunity of having exploring a new environment. I have actually never lived, quote unquote, lived properly in lowsec. I have, you could say, sort of lived there, but I wouldn't really say that I lived there when I used to do factional warfare a long time ago. And I kind of would have, I think I would have still done that today if it wasn't for the fact that these stupid militia just attack you when you enter their systems. I do not like that mechanic at all. I really do not like that mechanic. But it makes sense lore-wise that if you side with a militia of an opposing faction like Amar, that Minmatar are going to get angry at you and, you know, attack you when you come to their systems. But I still just don't like it from a gameplay perspective, because it's really annoying restricting me to only 2 regions of space. Because you can say is, if I were to ally with Amar, then I'm able to go to Caldari and Amar high sec, no problem. But if I go to Minmatar or even Galenta, I think, at least Minmatar definitely, then I'll have problems. The Navy will start attacking me because they don't like it that I've sided with a certain militia. They really do not like that, and I found that very limiting. Otherwise, I really liked to do the L4 missions of the factional warfare before. It had a lot to do with the fact that I was doing them in a Purifier because I really liked that ship so much. But also I love the concept of it as well, because you're sort of assassinating as like you're sort of like a hitman. So you're basically assassinating these leaders of these faction warfare, you could sort of say. You're assassinating like a battleship, a lone battleship. That's all it was. The L4 mission was destroy a lone battleship. And I like that concept of just having a small sneaky stealth bomber, just going in there, assassinating it and getting a good payout, because they paid out fat isk. A lot better than L4 missions in high sec, got like 35k per mission. I think they have nerfed it though, but it was definitely something fun to do in a ship that I liked a lot. And it was also quite intense because, you know, people can here hunt you. I actually had a bit of a encounter once when I was doing these kind of missions. It was that I had a Purifier and I was doing one of these missions, and I was actually hunted then by a Tech 2 cruiser. I don't know what kind of cruiser it was now, but at least I think it was Lachesis. I don't know what kind of cruiser that is. It's some kind of Tech 2 cruiser at least. I think it's like a Force Recon or something. And it was able to at least sneakily get in there because it either has a cloak or descan immunity, I can't remember, but it was able to get in there. And it was very far away from me because I was not being stupid and staying on the warp-in point. I was actually just cruising out far. The thing is, this Lachesis at least, I think it has a bonus to some webifying and scrambling range or something. So it was able to webify me, or at least scramble me from very far away. Look at that, warp scrambler, 20% optimal range. So I was just sitting there in a Purifier, like I think I was 50 kilometers away or something. And he was warp disrupting me, or warp scrambling me, I can't remember. Really far away. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? So what I did was I just attacked him with my stealth bomber, and I was actually getting to very low HP, to the point that I made him warp out. I somehow made him warp out, and I was so close to dying. I was in structure, but he was also close to dying as well, and I'm guessing that he thought that his Lachesis was pretty... I can imagine it was dead space fitted or something, and then also a Tech 2 cruiser, generally speaking, was quite a bit more expensive than a Tech 2 frigate stealth bomber. So that is my guess to why he actually warped out. Now, this thing is not scanning here, so I'm just going to go to the next system because it must be something really bad. And that's really unfortunate right here. If you have 6 signatures and nothing interesting. It's just like that sometimes when you're doing some exploration and don't get the good luck. Don't get the good luck. But null-sec can be interesting, but also low-sec can be interesting. Now, another thing I've been thinking is also maybe setting up a small structure in a low-class wormhole. That could be interesting because you could do like Abyss in there, really like stress-free. You don't have to think too much about abyssal gankers. And you can also sort of go to other wormholes as well, do ratting there. The thing is, I feel like it will still be a lot of management from owning a structure, and I don't feel like the things you can do in the low tiers of wormholes will be really worth it. The only thing would be able to do Abyss stress-free, and I feel like doing T4 Abyss anyway in high sec is pretty stress-free anyway. So I don't think I would want to do T6 anyway in a wormhole. I just feel like it will be not really worth it to what I'd get out of it, to what the effort I'd have to go into maintaining a structure, and, you know, not have the good, safe, or not safe, but like convenient lifestyle of being able to have Jita at my doorstep, or like, you know, trade hubs at my doorstep. I feel like that would still be better. While if I were to be in null-sec, it would still be a market there. I'd have very good DED size, a lot better than I would have in high-sec there at my doorstep. And plus, on top of that, I would have a lot of friends with me. If I were to be in a wormhole, I wouldn't have a whole lot of buddies with me. I probably would see if I can have some of my close friends in EVE join me, but still, even if I did, it would not be a whole lot of people. and not a whole lot of force to combat someone who would try to take over our space. Okay, so I've now gone through multiple systems and I'm almost at the destination of Chelilean. You can see here multiple systems I've gone through. And unfortunately, a lot of these systems were systems I already went through, so it was not a good route planning on my part. And then quite a few systems, they didn't have anything in them, no combat sites, and no cosmic signatures. So this right here is the first one after like 10 jumps that actually has something that either exists or I haven't encountered before. So maybe it could be something here. Unfortunately, there's 15 people in the system, so probably not. But you never know. It could also be that this is on a good route. There we go. But at least we scanned down both wormholes straight away. It was, in fact, scanned down so fast that I didn't even have to stop and scan. Just directly did it. Not every day that happens for me with the levels of scanning I have. It really changed a lot for me when it came to the scanning technique. Just to be able to scan by like looking for the closest white dot or planetary body and just using the 4AU to scan makes it so much quicker. As well as double clicking as well helps a bit as well. But it was mainly that if I scan precisely on one of these dots here that is in the 4AU, it usually always gets a good first scan. And that really helped out a lot to be able to get this stuff going a lot quicker than me. A lot more techniques I can imagine exist as well that I'm not aware of. But it was definitely something that aided me that I had not been doing for a long time. Again, another wormhole there. Vite nun. Vite nun. But the thing is, I wonder now, what would be more interesting? Would it be going to low sec? Would it be going to do focus on DED sites in low sec? Would it be fun to do the nullsec stuff? We could do probably a lot of PvP stuff there because of the fleets and all that kind of good stuff. Another thing is that I was thinking also is that when it comes to low sec is that we could do the L5 missions. Only found in low sec, not even in nullsec. Could be quite interesting to do those. They pay very much compared to L4 missions. You need to have often very specialized ships though, but they could definitely be a possibility to do them. So there's also something I was thinking of doing. Let's see now, I can't really scan this properly and I doubt that this is going to be a combat site since usually combat sites you're able to properly scan them on the first go, but we're going to try here. If this signature doesn't show us, get us close to 25%, then I'm not going to bother. But L5 missions can be quite fun. The thing is, L5 missions, they require you to do them very well. I've seen a lot of people doing them in carriers. I can't fly carriers or capital ships, unfortunately. Now I'm going to skip this because I doubt this is anything interesting since it's only 9% at this point. But I see people that do them in capital ships, and I can't fly capital ships, but I have seen the guy Gustav Manfred. He does them in Bargests. I'm unsure if they're still viable though, but I'm guessing that they are because I don't see any reason why. I haven't seen any changes in L5 missions over the past few years announced, or at least I have noticed. So it could also be quite an interesting thing as well to do some L5 missions. They give very good ISK, and it would also be good because I'm capitalizing on the fact that I've got very good standing with Galenta. I've got very good standing with Galenta. I've got like 8 or something. So yeah, Galenta Federation 8.6. So I definitely have the standing to do them. Shouldn't be too much of an issue there. Something that also makes me want to be able to like go to these riskier areas of spaces, because often when I go to these places I lose a lot of ISK. Just, you know, spending on new ships to run new sites, often I die. Burns a lot of ISK. The thing is, I got quite a bit of ISK here piled up, stockpiled. So it shouldn't be too bad, even to lose quite a lot of expensive stuff. Or at least hurt too much. Now this signature really doesn't want to scan down right here. I doubt this is anything, but we're just going to try to get this to 25% since we are close to 25%. But I doubt it is anything interesting right here. Is there anything interesting in Chilien? Combat sites probably. It's a wormhole. And it does not seem like there's anything in Chilien. We're just going to go anyway just to check this out. Will we have something? Pop. Nothing at all. Unfortunately, we've gone to our destination now. We've not found anything. So far, in this whole campaign towards this destination, we found a 3 out of 10. We've got a 5 out of 10, but we didn't run it because it was in low sec. The 3 out of 10 gave okay loot, 20 million something, but it still could have been a lot better. I'm going to be honest, guys, I would have expected a lot more. I don't think luck was on our side here. We didn't get any DED sites by scanning. We got a lot of escalations in the beginning, but later it was not the case. So we're just going to see here next time when I decide to go back to Gita if we're going to actually get some decent stuff on the way back home. Hope it does happen, but either way, we'll see. I'm optimistic that we can at least get something on the way back, because it would seem very unlikely that we would go through so many systems and still not find anything. Well, the escalation, DED, RNG can sometimes be quite ruthless, so you can't always expect mercy from them. But sometimes they do give you a lot of mercies, and that is very fun in those cases. So either way, hope you guys enjoyed this little journey with me. Talked a little bit about, or quite a bit about, the potential plans for the future as well. Let me know in the comments if there's anything particular you would want to see me doing, like anything that you think would be fun to see me do as well. Me personally, I just do what I think is fun, but it'll be always nice to know what you guys think is fun to watch as well, so that when I make videos, it'll be as interesting as possible, you guys. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.